Hi everyone, my name is Kelly Tankley, and today I am talking about learner profiles. So each year, the first thing that we do is we spend 2 days with really getting to know students. And so we set up our one-on-one conversations with students where we can really interact with them and get to know that at a deeper level, so that individualization and personalization is more possible. What we learn in those profile meetings is really what takes years to otherwise know about someone. So these tools help facilitate that conversation and just speed things along a little bit so that some of those topics and things that may not come up naturally, until you've spent lots of time with someone, that they're able to come up and the kids are able to talk about their experiences and just who they are. So today I am talking about the Multiple Intelligence Strength card deck. And this is part of the Learning Genome Project. This is one of 3 card decks that are available through the Learning Genome Project. And this is one of my favorites because it helps us really get to know the student and what multiple intelligence strengths they do have. So the first thing that you do with a deck is you set up the Likert scale that comes with it. So these are cards numbered 1 through 5. And you explain to students, 1 means it's not like you at all, a 5 means this is spot on just like you, and then everything in between. And so what I love about using the Likert scale is as students are placing cards down, they're really going to expand on their answers. You can say, you put that, you kind of hesitated between a 1 and a 2, why'd you end up on a 2? And then they can expand on that answer and you get to know them even better. The cards are all color-coded, so the background of the card actually corresponds with a multiple intelligence strength. So as you're working through with students, you can at a glance see which multiple intelligence strengths they're putting in that 4 or 5 category and which they're strongest in. So with non-readers or early readers, you can read these cards with them. So you'll go through the cards, you can read directly to them. For older students or students who are independent readers, obviously they can read their cards themselves. That'll take a little bit more work from you because actually what you're going to do, if they're reading them independently, they could sit silently and just place them. So it's going to be up to you to really draw out some, I noticed that you kind of hesitated on this card, I like camping and hiking. You ended up putting it on the 4. Why wasn't it the 5? And then they're able to tell you, well, I really like hiking, but I only kind of like camping because one time my family and I were at this, overnight camp and something terrible happened, or, we couldn't use a bathroom and it was awful, those kind of things. You get to know a lot about family dynamics in this process. You get to know about the student, what they value, what they care about, and really what makes them tick. So I love this process. The cards are a great tool, but they're just that, a tool. Really the magic happens in the conversation and the interaction, the nuance that comes out as you're working with these kids. So I always recommend to have, a pad of paper and a pen handy so that you can jot down notes as they're telling these stories, going on those bunny trails. But they simply just go through the deck and place, kind of where they think things might be for them. And you can see as I place these that they're color coded. So I can see that there's a lot of reds happening, a lot of blues happening here, and that corresponds with multiple intelligence strength. At the end, I'm going to count up the 4 and the 5 piles and the colors in each. And those that have the most colors, those are the ones we're going to record. And those get recorded directly on the learner profile spreadsheet. And that spreadsheet auto-magically takes all of that data, tells you what their strengths are, and then it actually will define what those multiple intelligence strengths mean. So this is the first step in creating our learner profiles. From here, we go through the learning style card deck and the brain dominance card deck. We ask a lot of interest passion questions. Those are right on the learner profile, so you can see those there. And that really is how we start to build that agency for students. We start to work with students and their families, getting to know them. As I said, we do this the first 2 days of school, so before they've even entered day 1, we know a tremendous amount about that student. We've already started developing a relationship, and now I know, some likes and dislikes, some strengths The one pile may seem like it doesn't matter a whole lot in the multiple intelligence strengths, but a lot of their weaknesses show up here. A lot of their own vulnerabilities show up here. So if they're not very verbal linguistic, they might be afraid to read out loud in a classroom, and a lot of that'll come out. As they're sorting cards, you'll start to get to know things like that about your students. So you can partner with them right away. It's also a great way for your students to start to metacognate and understand who they are as learners. And we found that to be the most important thing, is for kids to understand, I have strengths and I have weaknesses, and everybody has those. And if I know where my strengths lie, I know when I need to rely on somebody else or collaborate with another student or with others. It shows them that we all need each other in this world, that we actually all have parts that we play and pieces that we're good at. So that's where we start with this deck, and we plug that right into the profile, and that helps us start building, like I said, that agency and building those relationships. So I hope that was helpful. The Multiple Intelligent Card Deck is on thelearninggenomeproject.com, and that is where you can find and purchase your own set. Thanks.